Yeah.
But still.
All right, you ready?
I am Freddy.
All right. Can we get some kind of countdown from our producer?
It's
Just for, old time's sake.
the times that are saking old.
Yeah.
13, 9, 6.
Oh, I can't handle these numbers.
He's drunk.
41, 2.
Hi, I'm Spencer,
And I'm still tired.
and this is The Itch, featuring tired people. We got a great show today. The Itch is where we go over the week's news. The week of 8/30/2014. Today, now, on the fast track, doing it right, getting it going.
Wait, when was this?
8/30/2014.
Keep going.
On the doing it right. on the fast track. I'm drinking this delightful TQ beverage. Oh no, it's QT now.
Yeah.
I'm going with the
That mirror doesn't help. The TQ!
I'm
It's
going.
amazing!
I'm going with the peach green tea today.
Yes.
QT, always a good time, every time. We got a really fantastic week that we just had. A lot of big news. It's going to be a long one. I got like 19 slides on here.
Yeah, well, if it's primarily Nintendo stuff, which, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, it might be.
Yeah, it might be.
I'll let you just handle talking. I'll just be like, what? New way.
Let's start out with the releases. I don't know how to use a computer. The big releases for this week were PS4. We had Metro Redux. That was the Metro First Light, and then 2033. I think the two games are called.
Yeah, like it's like a redo of it.
Yeah,
Redux. Imagine that.
Yeah, and they completely redid them with 60 FPS and updated the graphics and all that. I think they included some of the things that they had in the sequel into the first one and made it. So if you haven't bought them yet, you should buy them. I got one of the Metros for free because I liked them on Facebook. It's the only reason I have a Facebook to this day.
Really?
It's because I wanted to get the free game. So they roped me in.
Like random shit.
Yeah,
free,
yeah. When you're on Facebook and you see like this person likes Walmart,
You're like, oh.
that's me because Walmart gave me something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of my friends, I actually still have the picture of it. He has a, like it tells you, like if it tells your friends, like if you like something,
Right.
And he's like, your friend likes what big booty white chicks, and I was like, there's a group for that? Like there's a page on that. Yeah. Lo and behold, I had the picture. I'm like, oh my god, screenshot, sent that right back to him. I was like, oh, so
How embarrassing.
you like big booty white chicks, huh?
I do like big booty white. The next one is Zen Pinball 2. Featuring The Walking Dead. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's The Walking Dead.
It's
pinball
like
edition.
like the Zen pinball thingy is on like I see it on PlayStation 4. You can like purchase it's free normally, but you can get like themed ones of it, and it costs like a certain amount of money. So like the Marvel one is on there. I think that was the first one on there, and then Walking Dead.
That's gonna be easy to make. I mean, it's just two triggers and a ball release.
I
That's
spend
what
money on it in the first place.
I don't know. Anyway, Infamous First Light. I think that was a downloadable content. Is that what that
it's
was?
standalone. You're playing as Fetch, who is the female, I guess you could say, lead in Infamous. Heard it didn't get too many good reviews just because it didn't really improve anything. It was just like more of the same game.
Is it downloadable as like its own release?
It's
or-
DLC.
You say it's standalone?
Yeah, but it's standalone. So like
So
I don't have Infamous anymore, which I made a mistake, but I can still get this and play it. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
And then Madden NFL 15 came out.
Yeah, if Kevin Hart didn't already tell you. Madden,
Oh my God.
Madden NFL 2015. I like Kevin Hart. I mean,
Yeah, he's been all over the place with
he's
this thing.
a workaholic, but damn. I saw that promo and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Him and Dave Franco. I was just like, okay.
Is that James Franco's brother?
Yeah, who I think handles comedy better. But then again, Pineapple Express was pretty freaking hilarious. And now he's doing another movie with Seth Rogen.
Oh, it seems like their trend, right?
Yeah, it's called The Interview. It's about like Northern Korea or South Korea, like one of them. I don't know. I just saw the little banner thing. I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
If it's anything like Pineapple Express, I will die laughing. So,
And then be revived to host the show. And then Ollie Ollie. I think that's like a weird skateboarding game, I would think.
I think there'd be an E at the end. If it were.
You think. I can't think of what else it would be. Xbox One had Stick It to the Man. It has an exclamation on it, so I...
Had to.
Yeah.
You had to avoid punctuation.
Yeah, I'm very, very into punctuation, so there's no way I was going to let that go.
It pains you to write it. You're like, God damn it!
Pinball FX2. How often do we have a pinball release on one console?
Oh, man.
Let alone two. Like Sony was like,
They are in a very small market competing against each other.
Yeah.
They're eternal rivals.
we're going to release Zen Pinball 2, Walking Dead. And
What?
Xbox One-
Zen's doing that?
Yeah.
Fuck them!
It's like, fuck you.
We'll do it live!
Fuck you, Zen. We got FX. And then they had Metro and Madden as well. PS3 had Dark Souls 2, Crown of the Old Iron King.
Cannot wait.
You're into Dark Souls?
Dude, like, Dark Souls is the first Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls is my my third favorite game of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're into challenging games.
Because my fourth favorite game is God Hand, and God Hand is fucking hard. It's like, I'll show it to you sometime. It's fucking bullshit ass, crazy, stupid, like Japanese take on Western culture with like a dude that can whoop everyone's ass, comedy, all that stuff. It was what, Clover's last?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
it was their they did Okami, and then they did that one, and then they were done.
Yep.
Which is real sad.
It didn't bankrupt them though. It didn't.
God damn it. Who would have thought making a game about somebody's hand more like being this weird?
Well, it's like his whole arm, because his arm gets cut off and it gets replaced by the God Hand, but it's a whole fucking arm.
Well, then that's why they did it. It's
White
false
pigment.
false advertising.
I know, right? That's clearly the reason. But it has a learning, or it has like if you beat people up too much,
Yeah.
it gets harder to balance it out. And people hit you more and they hurt you more. So it's a dynamic difficulty, but you can play on hard mode and it's always on like level 4, which is the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
You can't turn down the dynamic difficulty at all. If you get hit normally, it would drop, or you can like beg for mercy. Like that's one of the special moves.
They did like that with Devil May Cry. So I guess Capcom kind of does that, don't they?
Well, I mean, with Devil May Cry, it kind of wasn't really there. It was like using like Devil May Cry 3 as an example. Like, yeah, there were some areas that were like harder than others, but it wasn't like if you're doing too good, they're like, "Fuck it, ramp it up," you know.
They would make it easier, but they wouldn't make it harder.
Yeah, like if you died a bunch of times, like they're like, "Hey, listen, there's an easy mode." Like they'll try and be like sly about it and be like, "Hey, there's easy mode." But other than that, like they didn't really do it that way. But anyway, back to Dark Souls 2, Crown of the Old Iron King. Hopefully that gives a little bit of insight to the actual ending, because a lot of other like lore options are getting opened up. Anyone who follows, Dark Souls 2 knows about like all that lore and stuff. So
Okay.
fun time.
Well, with the 360 jet car stunts, there's
It's probably one of those party games.
no denying what that game's about. And then Dark Souls as well, coming out for 360. All right, let's get started with the news. We got PAX Prime taking place in Seattle this week.
Yeah.
That's always a big one.
I'm not really like too much into PAX, just because I don't think it's like the biggest like reveal place to reveal stuff. It's more of like for the community. Like, and I would love to go like one of these times just to
for sure.
see what's up. Probably next year. Plan? What? Get sponsored? Sponsor us, Bud Light. And then
or TQ
where
or
your-
QT.
where your thirst is always quenched. Anyway,
I don't think they would hire you like that.
right?
Could you awkwardly point
Would
to the
you
cup?
like to try a drink?
Yeah. Maybe we could get like an ironic sponsorship or
Yeah,
something.
right. You could pull it off.
Yeah, it takes place in Seattle. I thought it would be a game that I play a lot, League of Legends. They kind of obsess about PAX.
Really?
Yeah, they're huge on it. They always release like skins based on it and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So I mean, it sounds like a good place for swag, right? That's what the kids like, is their swag
Yeah.
and their drugs.
Oh God.
But
Hit them hard, huh?
yeah, hit 'em where it is. The big topics here on the edge. Final Fantasy Type 0 is a game that was released for the PSP. I think only in Japan. I don't think it came out
Released
here.
as Final Fantasy Agito.
There we go. It's coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna get it.
action combat game. Do they know what we want here in America anymore? I don't think Square Enix knows what
I'm
we want.
actually looking forward to it. I actually want to play it.
You do?
Yeah, because
I heard it was good. but-
originally all these were part of the Final Fantasy 13 concept, and then when 13 just kept coming out, Versus 13 got bumped to 15, and this just changed the name as a whole.
I
Too.
think because everyone understood that 13 was not very good.
Well, it wasn't that it wasn't very good. The first one wasn't very good. The second and the third one just had a specific market where they could still profit from.
Well, who would have thought that Final Fantasy would be niche?
I know, right?
Like that would never.
Well, I mean,
if this
that's
was
what
a PlayStation 1 era, like that would never happen.
I know, right? You've got your 7s, your 8s. That was the group right there. It was like
Right, 7,
who
8,
liked
9.
7, who liked 8, and who liked 9 the best. That was the thing.
Yeah.
And then when it jumped to 10, like everyone could agree 10 was pretty good. Like when people got past the horrible voice acting.
Yeah.
It
In the laughing scene where they're.
yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that. What were you thinking?
I don't
but
know.
past that, 10-2 was actually good. I really liked 10-2.
Those are the hot
Um,
pants. You know what the hot pants.
Hot pants.
You can't go wrong with hot pants.
I don't even know what hot pants are. Sir.
They're the pants that it shows a little bit of butt cleavage on the bottom.
Oh!
And she, you know, was walking around in it instead of
Oh
her,
shit! She did have hot pants.
instead of her little
Like
dress.
one leg was like longer or something like that, or no, she had the dress. She had the dress.
She had like a little dress,
Yeah.
but then she had really short shorts that you could see.
She had hot pants.
You could see the little cleft in her butt. I never played it. I'm not the one that was tapping to it, but somebody
right?
Somebody-
hot pants. Goddamn.
somebody really liked Yuna and
I
really wanted to
guess.
make her a symbol in that game. Dave Cox leaves Konami.
Konami.
He was the producer of Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I think that was his most recent one. He produced games like Metal Gear Solid, Suikoden, Silent Hill, a couple others. And he started with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. He's been there for a long time.
So he started with greatness.
Yeah, he
Ended with.
Yeah. He probably watched that series just kind of go down
He
the
probably
shit.
watched Lords of Shadows too, and he's like, you know what? I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Not that it's a terrible game. It's just I heard the first one was better. I need to play
Is
it.
Lords of Shadow the 3D series?
There's a lot of.
There's a 3D series and then there's a
Well,
2D series.
there was 3D series that was released on like PlayStation 2,
Yeah.
which is like Lament of Innocence, and the other one of Darkness. I can't think of it. I loved that one too, and then like obviously like your Castlevania 64.
which I heard was like the worst game.
It's fucking awful. Like holy crap! And
Why
then,
why do all the Castlevanias have to be named by like their 13-year-old son or something like that?
well, Lament of Innocence is a little bit out of their vernacular. But I get what you're saying.
like-
Yeah. I mean, Lament of Innocence, as for an example, was actually pretty sick. It was like a weird kind of. They were going for kind of like a Devil May Cry-esque, and they kind of pulled it off. The guy was kind of a badass. And then when you get to the other Castlevania one, you're essentially one of Dracula's like lieutenants, but you're like, fuck being evil. So you go back and you're like fighting like your rival and stuff like that. You run into Trevor. Is it Trevor? Or I think it's Trevor. I hope it's Trevor.
As you walk past, you're like, "What's up, Trevor?"
No, you fight him.
Oh.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Oh.
you're just like, what the fuck?
It's
And-
not amicable then.
Well, I mean, I think they're like allies after the fight. Like they, you know, what I mean, like you gotta, like, oh, Vegeta, Goku gotta fight. Now the friends take on Frieza. You know, whatever. Like in that concept.
I
So
expected them to talk like that. I guess. I mean, I haven't played it in a while, so maybe it's changed.
yeah, so that's unfortunate. I'm sure he's. I didn't really know too much about him, but I'm sure he's a great guy.
Next up, Halo Master Chief Collection. Lockout is getting a makeover.
Yeah, Lockout being one of the maps.
The main maps from Halo 2, right?
I fucking don't remember.
Yeah, it was one of the best maps in Halo 2. It's going to offer some new gameplay twists. Like, it's going to have extra cover and I think next to an elevator type item. What is your opinion? Do you think they should be messing with the levels?
No.
Don't you think they should not touch them at all?
The reason that's like the reason why you're releasing this Master Chief collection is for nostalgia.
Right.
Why would you interfere with something that's already ingrained into people's heads?
Right, they're completely updating the level so it changes the look. I mean, I get upgrading the graphics to make it
Yeah.
better, but changing the visual like aesthetic of it, I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah,
and
because
now
that
they're
changes the whole strategy.
now they're changing the integrity of the map.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, if anything, they should offer it as a different map as a whole, or like Lockout V2 and offer the original Lockout at the same time. I don't know if they're
Right.
doing both of those.
I hope they are because
It makes more sense to do both of them at the same time instead of just going, hey, you know what? Fuck it. New Lockout, you know?
yeah, 343 Studios, they're gonna make some enemies if they do that.
Yeah, they really are. That's like changing Blood Gulch and then, like,
Yeah.
never going back and being like, what?
Yeah,
What? You did what?
that'd be like remaking Final Fantasy X-2.
Motherfuckers.
Like remaking Final Fantasy X-2 and taking away the hot pants. Putting Yuna in just a full dress, everyone it would cause an uproar.
It's fucking cities will burn. You know what I mean? Cities will fall apart.
Yeah. So hopefully they get that going. There's going to be a Heavenly Sword
Oh,
film.
God.
I feel like I've heard of this game, or
Yes.
this movie coming out for a long time.
Yes, I believe I remember it too, because the initial thing about Heavenly Sword, when it was released, what, 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
I think it was 7 years ago.
Fuck. It was a launch title, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
It was that they wanted to bring the element of video games and cinema together, which, with the cutscenes, it was kind of like inferior technology, because like people like Uncharted
Mhm.
and Uncharted, I think, was the first one to actually really do it well, like with the voice syncing and all that stuff and the facial expressions,
Yeah.
because they were trying to make Nathan Drake dynamic. Like, oh, he gets in a cover 7 different ways. You press the same button, the animation's just different.
Yeah.
You know, and that was nice. But they just, like,
It blew it.
it's not even that. Like, I beat Heavenly Sword, right? Like 2 years ago. Finally got the chance to like, run through it and stuff. I beat it, and I was like, wow, this game was really just average.
Really?
It was average. There was nothing really too memorable about it.
Hmm.
It felt like drawn out towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And they wrote themselves into a corner with the story. So I was just like, all right, whatever, dude. Like,
Well, it's coming out September 2nd, straight to DVD. I'm not sure if that's the big release Sony wanted, but that's what they're getting. Made from Blockade Entertainment.
is it all in 3D?
It's CGI. Obviously, I guess, but
I'm like,
it's not like they don't have a redhead like Jennifer Garner or something playing. Or
Yeah.
it's a CGI girl.
Well, I really don't think anyone could really like pull off Nariko's look.
Oh, did she did have like a weird. Well, I mean,
Well, she was like a really like she had a more like defined sort of masculine face for a woman. Like she's still like an attractive like girl and all that stuff, but you know she was more like prone to frowning. And
they
like,
should just
being
gotten Sarah
mad.
Jessica Parker to like clip clop into the scene and play her.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Fuck.
In Nintendo news, Amiibo's first wave has been announced. It'll be $12.99 to get. I think it's all of them, but maybe it's just one. But don't quote me on that. But I think that's what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the first lineup will have, and these Amiibos, by the way, I don't know if you're too familiar. They're like action figures
Oh.
that you can place on the Wii U controller. And then, and we'll get to this in a second. It's another thing, but you can place it on the controller, and then it creates options in the game. So they'll give you extra skins or whatever for characters.
So it's a new way to handle DLC.
Exactly, and it's for the kids. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant,
Well, unless they break it.
unless they break it. But you know, kids like action figures, and kids like Wii's,
And breaking stuff.
and well, hopefully they won't like breaking stuff.
I was a criminal.
That's for the. This is for the kids who don't like breaking things, but who also like Wii's and action figures.
I keep thinking you say weed instead of weeds all the time.
No, this is not for the kids that like weed.
Weed.
The kids that like weed, they're not. They're gonna play the PS3, I think, or probably the Xbox One.
Wow. You
but
can just go that way. Sir.
but yeah, it's gonna have Samus, Kirby, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Pikachu, Link, Mario, Peach, Animal Crossing Villager, and Yoshi.
$12.99.
$12.99. It'll be compatible with the Super Smash Bros. 4, Captain Toad, Yoshi's Woolly World,
This is DLC.
Mario Party 10, and Mario Kart 8. And they actually do have DLC as well for
Yeah.
their games, which is
Like Super Smash Bros. Like one of the leaks. I mean, you'll get to it obviously.
no.
Well, not the leaks, but
Yeah.
you'll get to talking about just Nintendo in general. But
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. Like one of the leaks was like Solid Snake's coming back as DLC, and everyone's like, Nintendo on DLC? What the fuck?
They're
And it's like,
huge into it now. I constantly get berated from it when I'm playing Mario Kart.
people forget that DLC doesn't just mean add-ons. Do you forget that the Virtual Console was there the whole fucking time?
Yeah, I mean,
It's downloadable.
but they're all about the like add-ons now. It's
Yeah, they
crazy. They're like full-fledged into it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I might jump on some of it depending on what it is. The other news from Nintendo is they have a new 3DS coming out. It already hit, or it's coming out in Japan first, obviously, kind of as they always do.
Yeah, they hate us.
The features that it has is it has a C stick now, kind of like
Fuck.
the GameCube controller.
So that way, when you get on Super Smash Brothers, motherfuckers are just gonna flick that shit to do the Smash Decks.
That's how it's done.
I grew up with that shit. I hated that shit.
I loved it.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
It's going to have amiibo functionality. So that was the hint I was getting at.
Yeah.
And it's also going to have super stable 3D, as they call it. So they're just going to make it better, the 3D.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like, you have a 3DS?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so, like, fiddling with it, like, I don't have one, but, like, when I used to go into GameStop until they started freaking me out, I used to, like, play with it and be like, oh, you can just turn this thing straight 2D. Oh, 3D!
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was interesting. You just had to look at it in a certain light.
Yeah, the 3D, I don't really use the 3D, possibly because it's so unstable. It's really difficult to get a good beat on it. I'd rather just play it in 2D if it's not going to be perfect. So
I know, right? Like,
hopefully,
who fucking cares?
hopefully they make it more usable. It's kind of not that good as it is. My big concern with this is, so here's a little thing to add on to the fact that they're coming out with a new 3DS.
Okay.
There are games that are going to come out that can only be played on the new 3DS.
Is that really the right time to...
I know, because
You know?
console lives are supposed to be a little bit longer, and I would be okay if they released it and they're like, oh, it has the same functionality as the other ones, and you can still play the other games.
Like, if it was like the DS, like, extra large or whatever. they
Yeah,
have.
XL. That's the one I have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it can still... Granted, it's not fully backwards compatible anymore, right? Like,
Not
you
with
can't play, like, Game Boy Advance games and stuff.
Right.
Because that would mess up the aspect ratio anyway.
I tried putting my NES cartridge into it, and I did it for a good solid 10 minutes, just me smashing it and hitting it with a hammer, trying to get it in.
God.
It didn't actually go in there. I couldn't play my NES games.
What kind of fucking world do we live in?
I felt a
today?
little bit ripped off, but the new with new games coming out, and the game that comes to mind immediately is Xenoblade Chronicles, which was a huge Wii game that got a lot of success, especially in Japan.
Yeah, which I think is one of the characters they just revealed on Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, it is.
What's his name? Shulk? S-H... I literally read it as She-Hulk when I first saw it. I was like,
Yes.
She-Hulk's in the game. Okay.
Yeah. Marvel's throwing their hand in
I
there.
know, right? Like, Marvel's like, hey, can we get on this?
Mario versus Wolverine.
Avengers, Age of Ultron. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, so it kind of concerns me that they're doing that, and are they going to just move over to it completely? Because then I guess I have to buy a new 3DS,
yeah, right.
which kind of sucks.
I can imagine.
'Cause I don't really want to.
Right. I'm happy. I'll
Yeah.
stay here.
Yeah, I'll just.
But,
stay here.
honestly speaking, it's like the same thing with when PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One dropped. If you're not getting it at the start, just because, like, you kind of have a prediction on which one you think is going to be more popular. You sponsor.
I always point it towards the camera. You'll thank me later when we got a bunch of sponsors.
right.
That Justin guy didn't do anything except for his Adidas. He sponsored Adidas, but nobody can
I know,
see it.
right? Well, a lot of people probably think like, oh, he wears the same shit. No, I go to the gym after this, so fucking these are workout clothes. So sorry.
Yeah. I also work out.
At QT.
At Q.
And their new gym. Anyway, shit. What was I talking about? I lost it.
Getting a new 3D.
Yeah. If you're not gonna get it at the start, might as well just wait until a good game comes out on it or something like that. You know,
It's totally
'Cause
true. Yeah.
It's not gonna ship consoles until it has a game to go with it.
Mhm.
You need that partnership. So unless they're like, new Legend of Zelda is gonna be on this, or this is gonna have like, you can use Wii U games like the same way like the PlayStation Vita. Can you already do that for like the Wii U?
What?
Like connect them and like
with
switch.
the 3DS?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been able to with mine. At least, but it never prompted me to.
Yeah, yeah. See if there's something up on that. It might be like people might be looking at us and be like, "You fucking idiots."
Yeah.
But like
Sorry.
the PlayStation Vita, the remote control and all that stuff,
Right.
is actually pretty nice. It's a nice little feature. Like, oh shit, gotta take a crap, and then freaking Vita.
Well, with the Wii U, you can play with the
Yeah,
you can move
you
the
could
controller in there. Which my little girl, my girlfriend's kid, who basically my kid. I should just call her my kid. It's hard to.
Yeah, man, come on.
It's hard to make the kid. Yeah, let's get
You
some
got
good
this.
music going in here. But her kid just goes like, I'm like, you know, you can play that in the bathroom, and she goes, oh, that's so cool. So while we're playing, she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So she picks up my controller and walks into the bathroom and just plays it on the toilet. I have this horrified look on my face, like, oh my god,
Right.
don't ever do that again.
Like she wipes and she doesn't wash her hands.
There's this huge brown stain, and she just keeps playing it. It
Oh
was-
God, Reese's Pieces.
I was like, I should never have told her that.
Hershey Kisses all over the place.
So it's terrifying, but I guess it's kind of a cool
Yeah, you
functionality.
say only adults can do it.
Yeah.
Because I know about hygiene.
Yeah, never again. Yeah. GOG.com is adding movies to their lineup. Have you ever used GOG?
I have not. What are they?
They
about?
let you download games, like buy them pretty cheap, like usually all like classic games and stuff like that.
Huh.
And they're DRM free, so you don't have to be online to use them or anything. They're yours as soon as you buy them,
Sick.
which is an old concept apparently.
Yeah, no, fucking. I learned about that shit. DRM. What? Like 2 days ago?
Hmm.
A couple days. No, Thursday. Because PlayStation Network went down, and I had downloaded Last of Us to my PlayStation 4, and I had downloaded Diablo 3 to my PlayStation 4.
Oh,
So they can't verify my license, so I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wasn't trying to play any of those. I was trying to play Final Fantasy, but still, I was mad. I was like, wow, that's some bullshit. I guess I'll just play, I don't know, Battlefield single player and watch them not save my fucking single player content.
yeah.
But
I'll play Battlefield and hate myself.
right?
But GOG is adding movies, and they're starting with video game themed documentaries. They want to go more and do the Hollywood direction of big releases. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, man.
Good for them. Hopefully they get that. They're kind of a small company, though. I don't know if they're going to get that.
Who knows? Twitch was small. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Where are we going with that?
Oh.
Anyway, Connect.
Connect to go on sale for $150. Harmonix is including the game Dance Central Spotlight with it.
I had received the Connect, separately as a gift for my birthday from like an ex-girlfriend like forever ago. I don't remember how much it was. Wasn't it like $200? Like,
I don't remember.
who fucking cares? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not.
Well,
hating
no,
on
that's
Microsoft.
what I was gonna get to with that is that it came out for the Microsoft for the Microsoft box. It came out for the Xbox One for $100 extra, and nobody bought it. So now they're selling it to people for $150.
I don't fucking care.
Who's?
I don't care what you've included in it.
Yeah,
The
why
Connect
are
is
they-
a ripoff.
Yeah, why are they marketing this so much? Like nobody.
That's why. The same reason why I don't have a PlayStation Move. Same reason why I didn't really mess with my Wii too much after I
Yeah.
bought it. Like past Zelda, I didn't really mess with it too much.
Mhm.
It's 'cause fucking motion controls, man.
Yeah, your market isn't motion controls.
I don't like anything motion controlling. Like most hardcore gamers don't. Like I mean,
Yeah.
most casual gamers. That's how freaking Nintendo did so well.
Yeah,
Was
they got the
because-
niche right there.
Yeah, because that's what casual gamers like. And there's actually something I do want to talk about on that, but we'll get to that after like the Nintendo stuff. But it's just, you know what I'm talking about?
Wii bowling.
Oh yeah, Wii Bowling, Wii Sports in general. That's why it had a sequel. Compare that to Connect Sports or Connect Demoles, anything really. No one gave a shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like
Who gives? Why does anybody? We've proven that we don't want it. Why would you then sell it separately for more money? It doesn't make any sense.
silly.
It's just awful. And Harmonix apparently is still around. They were doing the music games that like died out of nowhere. Remember how big they were? Like
Yeah, Rock
for a
Band
good-
was pretty
for a good
freaking-
3 years. That was like all the gaming industry was, and then all of a sudden just nothing. Anybody that has those has like a whole bunch of musical equipment that they're never going to use again.
Or a bunch of downloaded songs that they just
Yeah.
fuck.
Why they download?
Why?
I downloaded so much Guns N' Roses, more than I'd ever want.
Right? I have more albums on fucking this than I actually do.
Yeah, and I have to play them. I can't let the experts play them. It's just me missing out the notes.
Oh man.
More news, more kind of depressing news from the industry. Jeremy Gaffney steps down. He's the president of Carbine Studios. They were the ones that did the recent MMO WildStar.
Oh.
He had to step down. He was suffering from skin cancer. I guess he's all healed up, but he did lose some family members to cancer,
Like in the past? Or?
In the production time of that game.
Whoa. Yeah, and usually game design schedules are pretty fucking rough.
Especially for...
Well, he's a president, too.
Yeah, so. I'm sure a new MMO that's coming out is probably not the easiest thing to get off the ground.
Press release and all that stuff, yeah.
He's staying on as an advisory role, but he's definitely stepping down from the president part of it. And that's just sad to hear.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully...
More emotional than anything.
Yeah. Hopefully he, finds happiness. And I'm glad to hear that he's doing okay.
Yeah, that's nice.
He's healthy, but that game... WildStar is probably one of the most inventive MMOs to come out in a while. I hope it does well.
On it, but
I wasn't. I mean, I'm not going to subscribe to it, but it was really good. It was different.
Anything that kind of kicks WoW out, producer.
I was gonna die by 1,000 paper cuts. One game that kicks his ass.
Well,
anyway,
apparently we got a heated
fanboyism.
Discussion. The Crew.
The Crew. It should have been DA.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You messed it up.
I wrote The Crew. I wasn't.
You know how we do it on the show.
It's not how we do it. It's how we do.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, the crew will be released at 30 FPS on the PS4 and Xbox One, and on the PC version they're trying to get it up to 60, but it's right now, like for sure, the PS4 and Xbox One are at 30.
I might have talked about it on this show. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Games nowadays are less focused about, yeah, they still want to look nice, but the primary focus now is frames per second. Or it's one of the biggest focuses.
Right, it's a huge one every time.
Especially, frames per second comes more into detail on games that are reactionary, that you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
Last of Us got out of this. Let's use Last of Us as an example, because, fuck, I always use them. Last of Us, for last generation's PlayStation 3, ran at like 25, 30, 35 in some areas.
Yeah.
On multiplayer, relatively low, on the lower end of the spectrum. Last of Us was not reaction-based, though.
Right.
A lot of Last of Us multiplayer is really strategic. If you're playing well, you're not sprinting all over the place, motherfuckers.
Well, and Last of Us had a lot of the moves that you did were
that's some weight
almost like wait, and they were almost little cutscenes in and of themselves.
Yeah, like if you're shanking someone from behind, press triangle and then
yeah, it wasn't a game like Dark Souls where everything has to be a Twitch reaction, and you literally have to count the frames that you're playing just to do it correctly.
And not only that, but Dark Souls had bad frame rate too until it was released on PlayStation on PC. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and then it ran at a full, nice, wonderful 60 frames.
And 60 frames, kind of what we're getting at, is really where games need to be.
Yeah.
There's really, it looks bad if you come out at less.
I have to look more into the Crew, but if I'm looking at a game like Killzone, Shadowfall looked really nice.
Well, do you know what the Crew is? Because it's a racing game.
Oh, it's a racing game?
Yeah, it's a racing game where you race. It's like a cross-country racing game.
I saw FPS and I'm thinking first-person shooter. I'm a dumbass.
The Crew will be 30 first-person shooters in one.
I beg for forgiveness. No, because literally both registered in my head. 30 frames per second as a first-person shooter. Like, I'm stupid. So anyway, yeah, I do know about the Crew. But you know what's stupid? These deals at QT.
They're out of control.
Oh my god. So
please sponsor me.
Right, just honest, earnest. Anyway, yeah, I do know about the Crew. But if Need for Speed was running, I don't remember. I think Need for Speed was it Rivals? Rivals, right? That was the most recent one. I did play that for a while. Ran at a pretty good, what's it called? And think about it. Besides fighting games, racing games, I would think, would need to have good frame rates. Just because you're constantly being fed information as you're driving through an area. Yeah. Hey, shortcuts coming up. Shit, better go into it. Oh, fuck, I missed it because the frame rates are too fucking low. Or whatever the case is.
I don't know. I haven't played a real racing game besides Mario Kart in such a long time. But
Mario Kart is a real racing game. Mario Kart 8. Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming around the bend. Oh no, Red Turtle Shell knocked him over. He's on the sideline.
Oh my goodness, invincible star. Oh man.
But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Time will tell if you need good FPS on those. I would think you would want to at the very least.
Yeah, you always want to go higher frames per second.
Capcom is suing Koei Tecmo for a patent. They're backwards compatible content being transferred to a previous game. Kind of like in... I think they must have patented this back in the Sega days when you'd plug into the cartridges into each other, and then you could play as like Knuckles, but in an older game. I guess Sega has an actual patent on that technology.
But that's Capcom, though.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know. What I'm saying is, I guess Capcom for some reason has that patent.
Part of it also had to do with, if I remember correctly, some sort of Rumble feature. Someone else, some company is suing another company. I forgot who it is. I think it's Square Enix is suing someone too. They had to do with the Rumble feature, or Capcom does. That's one of the things. But it was being able to add. It was like add-on content to a previous game or something like that. Or whatever. Something to that level. It had something to do with Koei Tecmo's Dynasty Warriors.
Yes. It has to do mostly with the Dynasty Warriors game. The suit says 50 of their games violate the patent, and they're suing for $9.4 million, and they want a temporary ban on the sales of the games.
Or, I think that was it, and there was something else. I think it was like they wanted the...
or a virgin.
They wanted
a virgin to be delivered to their doorstep.
Yes, that is it. No, they wanted a damn it, royalties for it. If it wasn't that, it was the Square Enix one. But yeah, it was like, it's kind of weird. Just comes out of nowhere. The big thing, like, because I actually am one of the few people that still likes Capcom, and I like Koei Tecmo because I like Dead or Alive. I'm a big fan of Dead or Alive. For the fighting, not for the volleyball. Thank you.
I like them for the physics.
Yeah, like the juggle physics, not the jiggle physics, the juggle physics in the fighting. When you're beating them up and you can bounce them at the ground like it's Namco. Like it's Namco Street Fighter. Anyway, no, okay. Capcom suing Koei Tecmo just sounds a little bit like eager.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, just because like Capcom isn't really doing too well in most of its fighting games besides really Street Fighter. Marvel was kind of a bust, but they had unrealistic expectations for it. I'm gonna be honest. Resident Evil hasn't done well in a very long time. But okay, no, I lied. Resident Evil, Chronicles? Or whichever.
Was that the one for the...
Revelations. Resident Evil Revelations for 3DS.
Yeah.
Was people like, they re-released it on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and I think people still liked it. And it was just there to reach a broader audience. But past that, yeah, like they haven't really been doing too well on their fronts, and a lot of their IPs are just like lately.
Yeah, well, so. I mean, they have themselves to blame for it. They take their releases, especially Resident Evil, just sticks out like a sore thumb to me.
Resident Evil 6?
Yeah, Resident Evil 6 specifically, and they're just like, we did a lot of market research, and everyone wants this to not be a horror game, and they want this to be an action adventure game.
It's like, what?
It's like, wait, what?
Zombies are about action.
Well, it reminds me of Final Fantasy making Final Fantasy 15 a shooter, but it's
not a shooter.
I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 15 is a shooting game.
No, it's not. It's one of the characters does have a gun, and you can, if I remember correctly, control him to shoot. So it's like Irving from Final Fantasy VIII. It's just like now, instead of pressing the button and watching him shoot, I get to control it. It's not too bad.
15?
15. Yeah.
It's not even out yet.
It's not out yet. No, but they already have like gameplay stuff on it.
You're sure that it's not a shooting game?
I will bet you, sir. Moolah.
All right, we'll
Moolah.
we'll handle Moolah sometime. I am
QT Moolah.
Not looking. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that game. But maybe you can prove me otherwise.
I'll show you some stuff.
As you kind of mentioned earlier, PSN is having some troubles this week.
Yeah,
they claim that they're having a DDoS attack, which I've heard a lot of people make those claims.
Well, actually, because it hit more than just PSN. It hit Xbox Live
as well. Yeah, but apparently it hit PSN the hardest. They actually went down twice.
I couldn't even tell.
Really?
And like I was
Didn't
on.
you just say you couldn't get on?
No, that was maintenance.
Oh,
they actually
okay.
did have like scheduled maintenance. The maintenance
Gotcha.
was supposed to be on Monday, and it got changed to that Thursday, like because they had recovered from the attacks.
Well, the PSN stuff gets a little bit more troubling. I don't know if you heard of this, but John Smedley, he's the head of SOE, Sony Online Entertainment, had his flight moved to Phoenix, which is where we are,
What up?
because there were Twitter messages stating that there were explosives on the plane.
Yeah, it was a bomb hoax, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
So, and there were messages from people saying like he should. Sony has all this money that they're making off the PlayStation Plus. They should be using that to prevent DDoS attacks. And it's like, this is getting kind of creepy.
Well, yeah, that does make sense, but I mean, what are you comparing that in relation to?
Yeah.
If you're comparing it in relation to Xbox Live, understand that Xbox Live had always been a paid service
Yeah.
to really get the full benefits of it. You're not playing online unless you have it. Guess when that was established?
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, man, that's just scary. Is video games turning into this? I don't want that.
No, it was a hoax. Like, they're just trying to be stupid. But as a guy who probably hasn't been in that type of situation before, I wouldn't think anyway. You know, he's probably just like, oh crap,
Like,
I don't know what to believe.
right.
I
I mean,
might as well just
it's
fix it.
it's easy to say, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm a man. I don't really care. People will say a bomb threat or whatever. But when you're like, you know, 2 miles in the air on an airplane, and somebody says there's a bomb on your plane, I mean,
Yeah.
what do you
And
what do you
depending on
do?
where you're flying to, that is hours of stress.
Right. I
In
mean,
addition to your job, he's probably stressed already.
like I might disagree with some of his methods, and I don't really know him, and I don't really know his methods.
Well,
so,
he's the new head.
But anybody,
Well, no, he's not the new head. Keep
anybody
going.
that's going to be in these positions makes decisions that somebody doesn't like. But is it, man? We need to not threaten bombs and violence.
Don't
and
threaten
death.
someone's livelihood. That's bullshit.
I don't like Peter Molyneux, as we were talking earlier, but I would
Yeah.
never like tell him I'm gonna slice his neck open or
Right?
something. Like
I'ma gut you.
yeah, it's just that's just outrageous.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that. Gamer X.
GAY.
GAY, that's right. They are for the gay and lesbian,
LGBT.
lesbian, gay,
LGBTQ.
bisexual, transgender.
Yeah.
They have a yearly conference called Gamer X, and they did Gamer X2 this year, and they said it was going to be the end. But due to popular demand, they're going to come back for August next year in San Francisco. It's going to be called GX3 Everyone Games. They're going to try to hit a broader audience.
Oh, that's cool.
Kickstarter is attempting to raise $80,000, which is 60% of the show's operating costs.
That's actually pretty neat. It's always nice to see like a new community that comes up, whatever, regardless of
Yeah.
anything really. I actually have a couple of friends that are gay and lesbian that play online, and I never, for the longest time, couldn't get like I would have like lesbian friends that would tag gamer, like GAYMER, and I'm like, wait a minute, wouldn't that apply to guys? And it's like
Yeah.
stupid to like because I didn't even ask them. But then I actually understood why. Like a lot of people just tag it as that, like on like Instagram or something. If they're playing a game, it's tagged as that. It's its own community.
I don't know what this means, but they keep saying that they're going to try to reach like a broader audience. But
Well-
I just imagine in years past, like some straight guy try to get in. They're like, not with those shoes on.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure a lot of it is just like they want to put across the right like
the right message,
public
acceptance, and all that
exactly,
stuff, which is great. Yeah.
So I mean I can see that being interesting. Granted, you know what, I actually have a friend who lives in San Francisco who can actually check this out for me to
Yeah.
see. Hopefully he's here by next year, and hopefully you guys remember it. But, remember me saying this, but maybe I can have him like look into it or something like that, because I mean I get what you're saying about the whole everyone games thing, because it's just like, why couldn't you in the first place? You know?
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah. You know, more power to him.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. And speaking of game conferences, there's going to be another one. It's Fire Axis Games Conference. Sid Meier will be there. I don't know if you're a Civilization fan.
Just because I haven't gotten into it.
Yeah.
But
They're going to have Civilization Beyond Earth tickets for $40, September 27th.
whoop.
I played Civilization 5 once because a friend pressured me into it, and I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, it's like really like political in there. Like you go deep,
Yeah.
deep inside. But
It's a long game, and like 3 hours passed, and I was like, we haven't even seen each other, and I was like, I'm done with this game.
I think I'm gonna uninstall.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's fun for some people. It's a good game. It's not a bad game by any stretch.
Yeah, and our job is to provide what's the word? To make it known.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you care about Sid Meier,
Which a
and
lot of people do.
Civilization,
A lot of people really like Civilization.
Yeah.
So go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Gamefly, remember these guys?
Yeah.
They used to. Their big thing. Oh, no, I used to. I just ruined the story. Basically, GameFly just sold their digital distribution to @Games.
Their DDR
Yeah.
to @Games. Now
Yeah.
@Games handles it instead of. I
So
guess.
if you were renting games through GameFly at a digital level, I guess you are now dealing with @Games, and all your information will be transferred over.
Okay, but if you're handling the physical
I
distribution,
guess. I don't-
it's still GameFly then.
I would assume. I don't know. That's weird. I didn't even. I don't know.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised. A lot of my friends actually have GameFly, and they're just like, "Oh yeah."
Do they Do they do the digital or do they do the physical?
physical? I mean, I don't know if it handles well on consoles. I can imagine like PC.
PC would be great.
Yeah, they could just put a timed like a limited like thing on it to where like.
Well, is it
after a while
GameFly's
expires.
thing like you play it until you beat it and then you turn it back?
Yeah, it's like then when if you remember like Blockbuster, rest in peace, God rest their soul. When they,
I don't think there's room in heaven. I don't think Jesus is waiting for the Blockbuster Corporation. To
right,
come in. I didn't approve of this LLC.
this is a bullshit. Go back, straight out the gates.
Charging
But
$5 for a movie. Get out of here. There's a place lower for you. Down south.
but they down south. But they had something where you could like rent 2 games. It was like $20 a month. You could rent 2 games for an infinite amount of time. You just trade one in, and you can get a new one. It's kind of how GameFly works. I believe it's like 1 game, and you can like get 2, but it costs like more, or something like that, or whatever. And it's like you're on a waiting list for it. So the digital distribution makes more sense as a more smoother thing because you can it's software. You just hand it out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now it's time for our top story.
Tupa's
Big news this week. We actually had our top story a couple episodes ago, and it was Dragonfly running across the screen. Now it was
Where?
the Google was buying Twitch.
Yeah,
That was the big headline. But
because that was the big. Everyone thought
well, Twitch pulled a fast one on us.
you thought wrong.
And they're going the Amazon route. Amazon bought them for close to $1 billion. It was $970 million, I think it was. Amazon buying Twitch. What's the deal there?
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like everyone knew. Okay, no one knew, and then suddenly everyone knew. No
Yeah.
one knew Twitch was going to be that crazy, and then suddenly everyone knew Twitch was worth having.
Yeah.
I think part of it had to do with it being on consoles and all that stuff, and everyone's like, "Hey, that's another market we can control." And a lot of Twitch in general is just for gamers. So not just for gamers, like it could be for casual like guys, just like, hey, I'm fucking bored. These guys are personalities. They're funny. I want to watch them. Whatever the case is.
What do you call casuals? The cashes? Or what do you
Casualties.
casualties?
No.
Casualties of Twitch.
But no, just casual gamers like in general, and Amazon realized that hey, these are some guys who need to get on top of them. I guess either Amazon and Twitch were just like, hey, you guys want to do this? Yeah, sure, why not? Or they were uncertain about the thing with Google because I read what the head of Twitch was talking about. He pretty much said like Amazon was more in line with what we wanted to do, and
Doesn't that sound like
What?
like corporate jargon though?
of course, if it's anything that's like a
Yeah,
press
yeah.
release, it's corporate jargon.
Yeah.
But
Amazon and Twitch share the same corporate vision going forward.
But understand that it can only be taken an assumption that they turned down Google's offer. It just wasn't known.
it couldn't be Google turning their down their offer?
What, for a certain amount? Well, either way, there were disagreements.
Right.
So for them to even publish that in the first place does say Google wasn't, essentially. Google wasn't what we wanted to do. Amazon was more in line with what we did. And I mean, fuck, look around here, dude. Like, Amazon's all over the place. Like
Amazon to understand, we live in Arizona, and Amazon has a digital, or not a digital, I was getting the old one.
the physical
Has a physical distribution center. It's not part of the Matrix. It's actually on the streets. You can go to it.
No
It's
red or blue pill.
It's a distribution center, and you can get same day delivery and stuff. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, it's like, it's all over the place. Like, my brother actually, he worked for 2 different warehouses on it, and he's just like, holy shit, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're always hiring people, so they're expanding like crazy. But with this now, they're going to expand even more. I actually saw the new logo. I don't know if it was like for real or not. A lot of people were like, I Googled like both of them, and I went to images, and like they have the Amazon little thing at the bottom. That's at the bottom of like Amazon.
Really?
Is on Twitch now. So it's like some little like
Oh.
star sort
I
of.
thought maybe they're gonna get married like celebrities like Bennifer. It'll be like Amma Twitch or Twamazon.
Amazon. Copyright. We got it.
We got this Twamazon.
You want rights? No, seriously though. It's. I think it's good. You know what
How is this? How is that going to work? How is the merger going to work? How does Amazon have Twitch? What does that look like?
What do you mean? As far as like,
So Amazon owns Twitch. Is that it? Or do we have integration somehow? Or how does Amazon help Twitch, and how does Twitch help Amazon?
as far as I know, it's right now. It's just like a basic like buy. As far as like the reskinning of Twitch, it's probably going to happen. They're probably going to change a couple colors around. A little bit of yellow. They're probably,
I can see that in the board meeting.
yeah, right.
Like
We wanted more yellow.
Yeah,
designs.
everything's
Do you like
good.
this?
Everything's good. I was just like, maybe. I was just thinking, yellow.
Just saying, off the top, yellow and purple don't go well together, so you
kinda
only
want the
one or the other. Yeah, they're probably fucking dropping purple and putting it up as yellow. That's just my assumption, though. Might be a name change, might be an add-on of a name. You can bet that Kindles are going to come complete with fucking Twitch.
Ooh, and the Twitch Fire, or the Amazon Fire that's coming out, the phone.
Wait, yeah, Kindle, right? Kindle is Amazon.
Oh, Kindle
right?
Fire, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The phone that they're coming
I
out
don't
with?
do tablets. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know for sure, but yeah, that's probably gonna have an app on it for Twitch. They're probably gonna release a more gaming friendly pad, maybe.
Well, Amazon specifically stated that they like gamers because when gamers buy things from Amazon, they tend to come back and buy more.
Yeah, so they have a market there. They have an understandable market. So this can only be good for gamers, just because at this rate, Twitch and Amazon. You know what I could think off the top of my head. If you're partnered with Twitch, you can offer discounts.
Okay. Yeah.
Say, for instance, on a gaming related stuff. Hey guys, go check out Amazon for this. But this also does screw other people over, because I follow a couple of like guys like so if you don't know already, like I play a lot of fighting games, and I follow a lot of like fighting game like streams, right? One of these guys, his name's Spooky. He's like way like super been there since like essentially day one, real OG in the fighting game community. He regularly is sponsored by like different companies on his stream, and he's like, oh hey, go check out like ADARC 86 clothing, whatever, yada yada.
It doesn't sponsor QT, like, especially the way we do. And I really understand the product.
QT. Yeah.
Quick Trip is really, I'm big on them. But anyway, continue.
Right. Quenching the thirst.
You're right.
If you didn't know what the QT is.
It might as well, because it always hits me in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look to no other. 100% more efficient than other leading brands.
Of other leading brands of cups of soda.
But how will that affect those guys? Like someone who's like sponsored by someone else. But
Maybe it's just all about their ads. Like they put in a little ad at the bottom, kind of like YouTube has, where you can kind of X them out if you want. But a little ad that says like on Amazon now, like the cheapest price for this game that they're playing, Street Fighter, is like $36 and something. They put it there.
Yeah, that's
like that.
that's. I mean, I'm thinking about it in the most extremes of if Amazon buys Twitch and they get, well, if now that they have bought them, if they get like really like monopoly hungry and they're like, you know what, you can't advertise other guys on here, you know, like this. Whoa, you know, it's a problem. But then again, it is, you really can't police that. To be able to be like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, how many people stream daily, especially people who have it on their PlayStation 4s,
Yeah. it's gonna be
or
tough.
Xbox Ones, or on their computer in general. You just get an OBS up. Twitch shows you how to stream. You can't control that, and it's way harder to control than something on like YouTube, because YouTube, if you record something, it's always going to be there. It just takes their little bots a little bit of time to get to it, and then they're going to go over it and be like, oh, copyright infringement, and then yada yada, some other bullshit. But with Twitch, it's different. This shit's live, and a lot of times, I think the daily life on things, if you're not partnered with like Twitch, is like, I think it's like 5 days or 7 days, and they delete your past broadcast. I know, save space. It used to be they didn't delete it, but that changed as they got bigger.
Yeah.
Who knows? It might actually come back. But
no.
but the thing is, though, is that's 5 days to check through how many different streams going on now. That's a ton of shit to look through, and a lot of stuff. Like, we're not talking 10-minute videos here. We're talking, maybe it could be a quick 10-second shout out to a sponsor in 5 hours of video
Yeah.
of a past broadcast. I don't
You-
think they
you gotta
can even
watch.
control it.
You gotta watch like Margaret Hanson play My Little Pony for 5 hours just to find that section where she's
Gonna fucking say it.
find that little section where she's
Shout out to Burger King. Like, oh, got her. You know. But until then, yeah, you really can't. I don't think you can police that, and I don't know if they're even gonna try it. To be
Yeah.
honest, that's just like, it seems like a waste of money. Like, Amazon working with Twitch just seems like a good deal, all in all. And them being able to churn out these better deals for like gamers and all that stuff. This is literally specifically for gamers, and it feels nice to be appreciated by like major like companies,
Well,
especially Amazon.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
I've used Amazon before, and I look at me. I'm on the cutting edge of technology.
I've heard of it.
I would consider myself internet savvy because I've used an Amazon before.
I've dabbled.
I've
But-
purchased something through online space,
Yeah.
and I've had it delivered to me. I didn't want to go out and buy it at retail stores with the unwashed mashes. So, unwashed mashed potatoes. but
you gotta wash that shit.
You know, time will tell. Hopefully, Amazon does it right and does it good. And they've done a good job with other things. So.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just hoping that this is the first sign of many more good things, and not like hey, we're going to control the industry now. Like, because if anything, if Amazon releases their own console or something like that,
That'd be weird.
fucking.
Because you could still buy all their stuff from their like other consoles and stuff.
I know,
It's
right?
like-
That'd be very awkward, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, well, I'm Spencer,
and I'm Justin.
and this has been The Itch. Thanks for listening.
Wait, pause. Hold on. I remember. Rewind. One last thing before we go. It's about freaking Shigeru Miyamoto.
Shigeru Miyamoto. Shigeru Miyamoto.
Miyamoto. I'm like, Maya. No, yeah.
Shigeru Maishirona.
Miyamoto. Pretty much came out on, and this is part 2 of Big Story. Pretty much came out.
Came out at Gamer 3. Gamer X3 came out.
No.
He's like, and I'm releasing Smash Bros.
Pretty oh God! Smash Bros.
Takes on a new meaning now.
Anyway, that incestual meaning. Anyway,
It's
we're going far. Bring it back.
it's the LGBTI.
Back it up, dog. So, anyway, pretty much, he pretty much said that like casual gamers don't really understand Nintendo. It sounds weird, right? That's why it's news. because he flat out said, he's like, oh, hey, they know how to work a basic, like game, and that's nice, but we really can't innovate and do something crazy and big. And adventurous. And I think part of what he was talking about that for was in relation to the Wii U. If you think about the Wii U compared to the Wii, not that revolutionary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
absolutely.
a TV away from a TV, really, and it's a controller at the same time. But if you compare that to when the Wii first came out, they were really trying big stuff with it, and they got the success for it. Wii U came out not getting as much success. I blame really first party like titles and all that other stuff, but could be other things. But he pretty much said, like, we really can't, like, be crazy, like, innovative and go out there and do something crazy with it because people won't understand it. Our casual audience, who they now have a backing with, just wouldn't understand it. And that's kind of interesting because that's the investment of investing in the casual audience alone. Or like, you can never invest in just one group of people. You can't invest in the hardcore by themselves or the casual by themselves. Because the hardcore guys, hardcore could be... let's just say out of a million people, the hardcore audience could be like 200,000.
Yeah.
The casuals,
would be the rest.
If you have the casual, okay, they just want more of the same thing. But how does that affect you as, a company to grow? You really can't do the same thing over and over. And for the hardcore audience, they could be too hard on a game, for instance, if you don't develop enough or you don't go the right way that they want. And that's why you get these guys, like if you see like a video for like anything that is new or different, like let's go back to Lockout changing. The hardcore audience is going to be mad. The casual audience won't care.
Yeah, they don't really care.
The hardcore audience is going to be like, what? Fuck, no! My strategies don't work on that level, or whatever the case is. And
my penis hurts.
Right? But that's the thing. You can't do that for the hardcore audience, and the hardcore audience is usually the niche market. So you're getting 200,000 out of a potential, whole million.
It's a weird state.
So
But yeah, definitely a weird statement to make from Shigeru Miyamoto.
Miyamoto.
Is it really Miyamoto?
It is.
Is that like a Japanese thing?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Dead serious.
All my life has been a lie. I don't even know if I'm a male anymore.
I'm here to enlighten you. You don't know if you're a male.
I'll have to go ask my girlfriend.
Well, how does sex usually work? No, but seriously, it's a lot of it is just like
I can't see her in the mirror. Like, it just gets too foggy.
Oh man, we're gonna have to edit the shit. No, but seriously though, he pretty much just said like, hey, casual guys don't really understand us, and a lot of people online kind of took to the forums and stuff like that. Like, Miyamoto hates, casual gamers. He might. He very well might. Because if you think about it, there was no casual or hardcore gamer back when he was first developing, with other titles.
Well, the people he used to develop for are now hardcore gamers.
Exactly.
Which I'm sure he's confused at this point.
He's like, you just want us to jump and crush the Koopa? Why can't we do another ability to crush the Koopa? No, keep it simple.
No crush Koopa. Crush Koopa.
But, and that's the thing, like, that I'm worried about with Nintendo now is whenever their next, like, console comes out. Because keep in mind, they're pretty much outside of the console generation at this point. Because they released the Wii U, like, super early. And the Wii was on time, right? Relatively.
Yeah, it was in the right span.
Yeah, but the Wii U, they released like way early. I guess because the Wii's timeline was ending sooner.
Yeah.
They released the Wii U.
Well, I mean, how many games are you gonna make with three
motion
buttons?
controls? Yeah.
3 buttons and motion control.
Well, it's not 3. You got the 1 and 2 button, the A, the Z, the B, and that's I forgot what the trigger was. Yeah, you have the A. I think that's B, 1, 2, CZ, and then let's go. But
if you have the nunchuck.
If you have the nunchuck. Well, man, how would you not have the nunchuck? I would have the nunchuck like crazy. But yeah, most people, bought one nunchuck, and then they had a bunch of just Wiimotes. At least, my friends did. I did.
That's how you Wii.
But that's interesting if you consider it, that their next generation console, whenever that is, probably like 2 years from whenever it wants to come out. What if it's not like up to par again? Nintendo can't take like another hit like that. They're a big corporation.
Well, I don't think your use of again is a little bit.
What?
I don't think the Wii U is a disaster.
It's not a success.
It didn't have a great year, but that's okay.
Not even years since its inception.
I think it's about to do really, really well. I think
Mario-
you're going to see it do really well
Mario-
this holiday season.
Yeah, because everything came out late on it. That's the biggest thing.
That's the problem.
So far, it has been, and even in Nintendo's eyes, a failure.
Right.
That's why,
but,
like, everyone's like, they had to publicly acknowledge it.
but I think it's a little bit too early to call it like a disaster.
I'm saying, like, if they don't bounce back, right? And let's say they follow the same path that they follow. They release their next generation console, whatever it is, and it's not doing hot again. They're fucked.
Well, and keep in mind that the 3DS is immensely popular.
Yeah, but
I mean, even if their Wii U didn't destroy expectations,
I think it's just gonna kill that channel.
You think so?
You know, like they're not gonna have home consoles anymore, or they do, but they're just more like, you know what I mean? Like they're more selective on like doing them and like releasing games and stuff like that. You know, and it becomes harder for them, like because Nintendo's always been about quality control, and you know when they get a bad like game, I know they take it hard. You know, like if you look at Metroid the other end, like it didn't really meet expectations, and then now it's like now that Other M didn't do so hot, they're like, oh wait, you know, let's take a look back. Let's think about this. Super Mario Galaxy was
Let's not let the terrible guy with horrible acne at like the
Well,
age
I
of
don't-
50
he
work
was-
on our game.
Was that the last game he worked on?
I think so.
Yeah,
was then
before
fired.
he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and fucking weirdo, dude. I always wear shades because I'm fucking ugly. God damn it! No doctor in the world's gonna cure this acne.
Yeah, it was just like he was
But
clearly just
ugly.
like the ugliest human being, and his games were so like fan service.
And he was an asshole about it too.
Yeah, he was. Just
we're
terrible.
getting off topic.
But anyway,
But anyway, that was the thing that I wanted to bring up.
gotcha. Well, that's been your bonus clip. Thanks for joining us.